Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Brian. You're watching Game Brigade, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 games that could potentially break into my top 10. Stay tuned for that. Okay, so before we get to this, I need to say thank you to the channel sponsor, Into the AM. I am rocking my spooky shirt that I talked about in some of the promos earlier. I finally got it. I love it. Fortunately, Halloween's over, but that's okay. I still love the shirt and I'll have it for a long time. Right now, they have a percentage off. I think it's up to 35% on their basic tee bundles. You can get the 9-shirt bundle for 35 or 30% off. Incredible deal. And remember, my coupon code BOARDGAME is an additional 10% off site-wide, and those stack on their current sales. Check them out if you want to support the game or the Game Brigade. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and let's hit the list. Okay, so we're going to be diving into the top 10 games that I've been super excited about, that I feel like if they all hit in the manner that I want them to hit in. I got a little Dune Imperium guy here. I'll put him over there. If they all hit in the manner that I think that they're going to hit in, these games will most definitely change the structure of my top 10 list. I'm not sure if all of them will. I haven't even played all of these games. These games are ones that hit a certain spot on my registrar, I guess I could say, that makes me really, really excited. So I'm going to be kind of going down these games and talking about what they are and why they make me excited for the potential game they are. So without further ado, let's hit the first game. The first game, and obviously I'm only going to bring out one box because there's like 100 of them up on the shelf, is Massive Darkness 2. This is the Heavenfall. It's Hellscape is the name of the expansion, but this is the Heavenfall campaign game. And I have played Massive Darkness 2, and what I enjoyed of it, I really enjoyed. It made me feel like a better, kind of a more refined Descent in a way. I really enjoyed the variety of the heroes and the way that they were able to be upgraded and modified during the gameplay aspect. I thought that was really cool. Now, we haven't dived into the campaign, and that's one of the aspects that was making me most excited. The only thing I'm not sure about is how quickly you're going to level up, because in the standard game, you level up pretty quickly. Obviously, with a campaign, it would make no sense if you're all of a sudden level 10 by the second mission. I'm assuming there's some sort of staggering effects in play there, but I'm super excited to eventually try this. Now, the only downfall with this one is I combined my Massive Darkness 1 cards that came with my Kickstarter, but I don't own Massive Darkness 1, and I didn't think it would be such a big deal. Well, it's super annoying when I'm playing the game and we spawn a monster, and they always happen to be the Massive Darkness 1 monsters I don't have, so we're constantly proxying stuff. So one of my friends in the game group actually decided to buy everything, so he has 1 and 2. So we might end up playing his copy just for the sake of the completionist part of me. But I'm still wanting to dive into this game, see how it is, and see if it can crack into the top 10, because I just love these dungeon crawling experiences. Number 9 is kind of an interesting one. And again, a different box, because it's hard to find an Etherfields box that actually says Etherfields on it. So I grabbed this one. This is still in factory seal, and I have not played Etherfields. Now, Etherfields was one that I backed, I feel like, forever ago. When people started getting their Wave 1 shipments, I think that's when I bought it or something, because it's been, I feel like, years. Finally showed up at the doorstep, and this is one that I've been anticipating for a long time, but I'm also tentative if this one is going to actually break into my top 10 or my top 20. I want it to. It's a game where you're going to be playing into the deep delves of a story, of a dream world, where you're going to be kind of adventuring. But I've heard a lot of interesting aspects of the gameplay not living up to the actual design of the game. Like, it's not there. It's missing components. It's not missing components in terms of missing pieces of the game, but it's like just a rough game, and they could have had a little bit more time in the oven. Now, they did send this along with the pledge that I received. And it says an improved rulebook and an optional game supplements. So I'm curious how much like cooking they put back into this, because there's a lot of problems from the layout of the playmat to just the overall mechanics to how hard it can be and the amount you have to replay things if you fail. I have really enjoyed the narrative campaign of Tainted Grail, the Fall of is it the Fall of No, it's the King's one, the new one. I can't remember what it is. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to get a similar campaign narrative experience from this one, but it is tainted a little bit because of so many negative reviews online. So we'll see how it is. But this is number 9, Aetherfields. Number 8, I have Company of Heroes, the board game. This one's a caveat though, because it's going to be when the 2nd edition ships with the additional rules and additional changes to the system. Company of Heroes, the board game, is a great 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2. Eventually, you can go up to you can go even higher depending on how many board games you have of the same copy. But this right here, I believe, is a 2 versus 2 version, and you basically will be playing factions in the World War II, either the Germans or the Allies, and you're doing a skirmish war game. Incredibly cool system, but there were some things with the original system that didn't work as well as I wanted to, which means I don't get this to the table as often as I could. I've had a chance to play the 2nd edition, and I talked about this in the Should You Back video for the 2nd edition, and I was blown away with how smooth and oriented and clean the whole system was. So I'm very, very excited to get my hands on the 2nd edition copy when that releases. Unfortunately, they've had some personal losses at the company who made Company of Heroes 2 or Company of Heroes the board game, and I suspect that means that there might be a little bit more of a delay when this game eventually ships because of the issues that they're going to have to work with on the back end. But I know that they're going to figure it out. It's a great game. I really, really am excited for it. If you're interested, there is a late pledge, I believe, going up soon. The pledge manager hasn't launched yet, but it should within the next few weeks. So that's it, Company of Heroes, the board game. Okay, coming in at number 7, and this is getting hard because the games are getting better, and it's making it a harder choice to nail down exactly where I would place them in my ranking orders. Age of Darkness, Chronicles of Dronagor, is a game that I mentioned last time I did one of these top 10 lists, but I eventually sold my copy because I didn't have the Kickstarter exclusives, and I had backed the new expansion plus the original stuff again, so I rebought the game, but I wanted to get the Kickstarter exclusive, so now they've come. So now they're here, and so I haven't played the game yet since we've gotten it. I have played this game, but I haven't played it since we've gotten it. But I am over the moon excited to finally break this out and get it going. The base game of Chronicles of Dronagor, of course, let me talk about what it is. Like, what is this game? It's a campaign or a one-shot, depending on how you want to do it, a dungeon crawling game where players are going to be picking a hero, leveling them up and getting additional skills and talents as they go against different types of monsters. And it's kind of built on a 3D terrain where the rooms, as you unveil new doors, will kind of play out in front of you. You actually have QR codes you scan, they'll tell you what you're going to build. It's a really cool design. But what really made me excited for Chronicles of Dronagor was the way the leveling up system is integrated into the system, where you can have dual classes and whatnot, and the amount of different types of options in the classes that you can have really made me excited. The reason I didn't want to continue playing it was, one, it's a campaign game, so there's a story behind it, which is a pretty good story. But 2, the base game only had 5 classes to play. With the Kickstarter exclusive content and with all the other stuff I picked up, like character packs and whatnot, I believe there's 22 or 24 different characters in this box. And with the ability, and they're all different classes too. It's not just extra characters of the same classes. They're different classes like Paladin and Monk and Cleric, like tons of stuff. And with the ability now to also dual class, I was like, well, you need all that stuff. So I'm excited that I got this finally. Waiting on this one, and I know as soon as the second expansion comes, it's just going to be an insanely amount of boxes. You guys don't even understand the amount of boxes Chronicles of Dronagor is. I was able to condense some of this up and get them in there, but I'm super excited to eventually break this in. Dungeon crawls and narrative campaign games, cooperative experiences, those are the things that really have always driven me in board gaming. I love those experiences, and I'm hoping that this one is going to be one that's going to stay in my collection for years to come. Okay, number 6 is Mosaic. This game box is freaking gigantic. This is the Colossal Edition. I was able to find this at my local friendly game store. So I did not back this on Kickstarter, but this is the Colossal version. And I ended up backing the new Disasters and Wars campaign that they had because I wanted those additional items. Now, Mosaic, most of you guys have known, if you followed my channel for a while, I've been hunting Civilization games. I love Civilization games. I love the idea of taking a faction with no real resources or abilities and expanding your territory, gaining asymmetrical abilities, and making them unique as you use your strategy or tactics, either economically, diplomacy, or militarily to win. Now, Mosaic's a little bit different because it's more of an abstract version of a Civilization game, but I really much like it. This is an action selection game. Players will be choosing one of, I believe, 7 actions. They're basically developing their civilization, getting new technologies, eventually getting different types of structures, maybe even getting wonders like the Colosseum as you build out your civilization, and eventually scoring points based on how well you did. Really excited for this one, and I think it's mostly because I hear how quickly and smoothly the game plays. One of the hardest things about Civilization games is you get them, and they take too long because you have that build-up period. You have that thing that I love, which I don't mind. I actually will play Twilight Imperium. If anyone asks me to play Twilight Imperium, I'll play it with you. 12 hours, let's go, I'm fine. I'm okay with those long build-up periods, but not a lot of people are. And sometimes people want to have a game where they can have even 2 opportunities to play that game in the same night. And so if we have a 4-hour scheduled night, there is a potential that Mosaic could get played twice, depending on how well you play. The only thing that makes me nervous about this one, the reason we haven't played it yet, is the teach seems a little bit more daunting with having to learn it. And so whenever there's a game that I'm a little bit more intimidated by, I usually take a step and wait and kind of make sure I'm really confident with myself when I'm ready to learn it. So that's something behind the scenes. You just learn something new about Brian. So that's Mosaic, Story of Civilization, number 6. Breaking out another Awakened Realms title, this is ISS Vanguard, number 5. Now, ISS Vanguard, this one was hard because I wanted to place it higher, but based on where it is, I think this is a fine rating. I think right in the middle is where it is because there is a lot of unknowns. And it's sad that I'm saying that because it's the same thing about Aetherfields, a lot of unknowns, right? And that's because Awakened Realms is very good at building these amazing worlds, amazing miniatures, amazing bring you into their realm, but sometimes the gameplay mechanics might fall short or be lacking, and I'm always nervous about that, especially in a game that's as daunting as ISS Vanguard. Now, I did 2-wave shipping, so unfortunately I have a bunch of stuff I didn't get that I have to wait for, so that's another reason I've been kind of holding off. But I've got a lot of people who've been commenting, Brian, we want you to review ISS Vanguard. Let us know what you think. And I'm like, okay, well, shoot, I've only got just this. I don't have all my other stuff. It kind of sucks. Like everyone else got all their stuff. I only got the base game. So I'm kind of in a rough spot. Like, I did 1-wave shipping. I meant to say I did 2-wave shipping. I said 2-wave shipping. I did 1-wave shipping. So all my stuff, other stuff is coming later. So I only have this. And so I'm a little hesitant. The same reason I was hesitant with this guy is breaking into the campaign, playing it, and not having everything available to me, like my crew, the crew cards, which let me have backstories or more defined crew characters. There's just things I'm missing, plus the stretch goals and all that stuff. You're missing them, and I want to experience the game in the entirety. I want to play the campaign through it all. I don't want to play through this, wait a year, and then play through it again with the new stuff. So that's the only reason I haven't been diving into this, guys. I hope you accept this apology. I want to play it. We've talked about playing a few scenarios just so I can get a feel for it to give you guys my opinion of it so you make your decisions. So let me know in the comment section if that's something you guys really want me to do. Like, yes, Brian, we want you to do that. But that's number 5, ISS Vanguard. This was hard because this game I really want to play and I haven't played it yet. This is Forbidden Stars. This was one of the Grail games that I've been looking for years. I finally got it. And in fact, not only do I have the game, you probably don't even care about this, but I also got all of these print and play expansions. So I've got 2 of them. There's like a, let me see, I can't remember what they're called. Galaxy in Flames, and then there's another one in here somewhere. I got Galaxy in Flames plus another one. Now I've been told that the Galaxy in Flames is the only one you really want to play. We'll see. You know, most likely, I don't know. I'm nervous about anything, especially when it comes to these print and play stuff. But I'm really excited for this game. Now, what is Forbidden Stars? It takes place in the Warhammer universe, another game that deals with tactical space combat, which is what I'm all about. But this one's got a bluffing mechanic where you are going to be placing your order tokens down in the different sectors of the game, and then those order tokens are going to be what your actions are when you go to the next phase. So they may be deployed to deploy buildings or units. Maybe you're going to take advantage of your planets and take the resources, or maybe you're going to attack and attack an enemy force. So there's a lot of interesting diplomacy and strategy going on, and then you have the overarching scope. It's not just the bluffing immediately, because you have this massive world game battle you're trying to accomplish. It hits right up the track of everything I love. I'm so glad I finally got it. Now let's just hope it lives up to the hype. That's the question. Does Forbidden Stars live up to the hype? We'll find out. I will get to this game very soon. So that is going to be breaking us into the final 3. These ones are very hard. I have played 2 of them. I haven't played 1 of them. So we're going to find out. And does that mean, where do I place them? I have in my head where I want to place them, but maybe it changes because I haven't played 1 of them. Let's find out. Number 3, and this one's hard because I love this game. This is Dune Imperium, and I actually just got the deluxe box from Direwolf. I ordered it last week because I just love this game so much, and I have a friend of mine who has the deluxe version, and we played with his maybe 2 weeks ago, and I loved it. I was like, man, this is so good. I really wanted the Bene Gesserit characters, which is what I was playing that faction in terms of the units. It looks so good. I was like, I just want this box. I just want it. And Dune is a deck building game where you're going to be assigned a house leader or a leader of some sort with an asymmetrical ability. Now, those abilities aren't totally game breaking, but they are unique in the sense that it's going to dictate kind of the way you want to change your strategy from game to game. For example, there might be a person who increases the damage of the dreadnoughts, which is a unit in the like a military unit. So maybe you're going to want to focus on the military aspects, maybe get your dreadnoughts online earlier. Or the character I just played the last game, which whenever I purchase a spot, whenever I have to spend money when I take an action selection spot, I get to draw a card, which is great. I really love that ability because it played well into a deck building game. And in this game, you are going to be playing, you're going to be building a deck, but you're also going to be sending your agents to different locations based on the card you play. The card you play will have a section that you can send your agent to, and you take the ability of that location. And in like most worker placement games, the locations are locked off, so other agents can't join you unless they have a card or an ability that says otherwise. And so it creates a really interesting strategy based on if you're first player or fourth player. We usually play this game at 4 players. And just the order selection and the way the game is played, really enjoy it. In fact, there's a new expansion coming out. I've got the first expansion, The Rise of Ix. There's another expansion that's coming out hopefully next week. And so I'll be integrating that into this game. And you know, it's funny. I have these games that are like some of my top games of all times. And I don't even have reviews for them. Like, why don't I review my top games of all time? Because I love Dune. Dune is a game that if anyone says, hey, you want to play Dune, I am always up for playing Dune. So let's hit the final 2 games. Coming in at number 2, and this could easily be number 1, but it's hard because like, where would this fall within my top 10? I don't know if this could eventually be number 1, and that's why it's going to be coming at number 2, because I think the next game could break number 1 overall. This is Endless Winter Paleo-Americans, another deck building game, another game that has worker placement, just like Dune. It's almost like there's a narrative going on here of the type of games I also enjoy. But Paleo-Americans, this Endless Winter game, I like it so much because it has a different take on the way some of the deck building games are manufactured, in the sense that you are going to be taking cards directly into your hand, so you have access to them on your next step. Instead of going straight to your discard and then you have to wait till you shuffle up and get those cards again, you have these cards immediately. So when you're building your deck, you kind of give it more forethought in terms of like, how do I want to strategize this? How do I go forward? And the way that there are so many linking mechanisms. You've got the terrain tiles, you've got the megalith board, you've got the animal track, you've got the scoring track levels. There are so many things, and that's just if you're playing those. There's going to be modules that can change things up in general. There's so many things you have to be aware of and keep track of. I love the aspects that everything that Fantasia Games has come here with and making it a really brilliant game. I also really, really enjoy the modular systems that are present in this game. There are a multitude of expansions, but most of those expansions are just modular. They're very easy to integrate. So the last time we played this on Saturday, and we did the base game, which includes 2 modules, which I didn't know about until we finally played with them. But there's 2 modules built in that are not part of the game, but you should play with them. We played with those. We played with the Ancestors module. We played with the Canine module. We played with the Yeti module. We played with the Burial Grounds module. I think that's everything. So we added a lot of modules to the game to change up the systems, change up some of the options. It really changes everything in terms of what kind of strategy you want to integrate. So it doesn't allow you, unlike a game like Dune, which unfortunately does have this problem. Let's bring Dune over because we'll talk about it. Unfortunately, with a game like Dune, this game, and it's something that I do almost every time I play Dune, is there are certain strategies that you might like or that you want to try to capitalize on. And I try to personally do the same thing. I enjoy deck building. I enjoy the Bene Gesserit cards. It's something that I try to target almost every time. When I've gone a Fremen Bond deck, or I've tried to go the Imperium or whatnot, I just not enjoyed it. So this game, I try to do the same thing. But the modular systems of Endless Winter kind of force your hand to play something different, because the cards are going to be different. Your scoring point tracking is going to be completely different. So I really have enjoyed this game, and I made a comment the last time I played, and the reason this video is being made is I said this game might be the best game I've played of 2022, and that kind of made me trigger what games would break my top 10 that I have right now, or I anticipate being a challenge. And that's kind of what started this. So thank you, Endless Winter, for being the content creator for this channel. The next game, coming in number 1, and maybe this is going to be really easy for people to guess, is Oathsworn. And that's because this game is just so incredible. I am so excited to dive into this game and experience everything it has to offer. I spent a long time organizing this game, setting it up into a manner that's going to be very effective and easy for us to play. And I'm looking forward to finally diving into the campaign. My wife came over and was watching me kind of set it up, and she was so impressed with everything she was seeing. She hasn't played board games with me since before COVID 2019, and so it's been a while since we've actually been able to dive into a campaign game. But she said, I want to play that. I want to be involved in that campaign. So you can't play without me. So I'm excited for it. It's got about 45-minute story issues with about a 90-minute encounter. This is a game where you are going to be going against different types of creatures, potentially. It's an unlock system, so you're going to uncover secret boxes, opening up your monster or your encounter for each story encounter. So you might not know what you're going to be fighting, and I have no idea. There could be a whole bunch of weird stuff in this. I don't know what you're fighting. So I'm super excited for it. This game, if it plays as well as I think it will, over the course of the entire campaign. This is definitely going to be challenging my top 10. So that's it. Those are the games that I find to be the games that in my collection right now will be putting the biggest challenge to my top 10. And I will be doing a video soon here, I think, of my top 50 games overall. I think I would like to do that, so people can have a barometer of like, well, what is Brian's top 10? Because I did a video of my top 20, but things have changed so much in that regard. Like, man, the amount of shifting that's happened in my top 20 already is crazy. So maybe I should do a top 50 video, maybe sometime in December. I'd like to get people's opinions on that and see what they think of, if that would be a video that you would like to watch. Let me know in the comment section down below. Again, remember, if you want to support the channel, there's a few ways you can do it. The best way is to subscribe to the channel, join the community, be a part of the Game Brigade, and put a wolf emoji in the comment section, because those are the people that I love the most. You guys are my family. The next thing you can do is down below, we have a Patreon link. If you want more behind the scenes, if you want access to some of the prototypes that I have, when I no longer have access or need to a prototype, I offer it to my Patreon to see if anyone would want them. So we've sent off several prototypes to people so they can have those games for them to play. The final way, and you know, I would really appreciate it, is Into the AM sponsorship. They are sponsoring my channel. They are putting themselves out there to support me to keep doing what I'm doing, and I would love to continue that relationship. So if there's a shirt that you like there, if there's something you want to purchase, pick it up, buy something for yourself, and in return, it will help me. I don't get any kickbacks or commissions for purchases by the way, so just know that it's just more of like a, we'll see if we want to keep sponsoring you. So there you go. That's it. I'm gonna let this go. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.